President Zalansky, in a video speech, "Our forces are still fighting in Solidar, we have inflicted heavy losses on Russia." The American War Institute reveals the incorrectness of Zelensky's statements and declares very clearly that Solidar has become Russian. The Russian forces begin besieging the city of Svryzhek from several sides after the Battle of Solidar was resolved. The Russian army storms the town of Bredecheno, which is close to the strategic highway linking the city of Bakhmut with the city of Konstantinovich, and the Russian forces are advancing in the eastern suburbs of the city of Bakhmut. The Russian army is attacking from several axes. The Russian army is receiving a new batch of the latest weapons and technology. To reveal the locations of the Ukrainian artillery, let's know the details. Like and share the video by subscribing to the channel. Ukrainian President Zalansky in a video speech said that Ukrainian forces are still in the city of Solidar. The Ukrainian forces are clinging to their positions and inflicting heavy losses on the Russian forces. The Ukrainian president thanked 2 Ukrainian units in Solidar and said that they are sticking to their positions and inflicting heavy losses on the enemy. Zelensky said that he met with senior military commanders and discussed in detail the reinforcements required for the Battle of Solidar and nearby towns, and the steps to be taken and implemented in the coming days. He also mentioned providing the forces with weapons and ammunition with cooperation in this regard with the NATO forces. The Ukrainian Deputy Minister of Defense said that Russia is strengthening its positions and strength in the country, but the Ukrainian army forces are fighting fierce battles to control Solidar and the Russian army. The American War Institute, the largest American military analytical institution, published yesterday the detailed daily bulletin regarding the analysis of the war situation between Russia and Ukraine. They wrote in detail and with all the clarity of the world. Geolocation footage released on January 11 and 12 indicates that Russian forces likely control most if not all of Solidar and may have Ukrainian forces pushed out of Solidar's western area. The Russian forces of Wagner's forces have published photos and videos while walking freely in the city, and all available evidence indicates that the forces of Ukraine are no longer holding organized defense at Solidar and that Ukrainian forces had taken up defensive positions near, but not in, Solidar. The Ukrainian forces tried to break through the cordon made by the Russian forces and stormed Solidar again, but Russia crushed the Ukrainian forces and thwarted the counterattacks, and Ukraine lost hundreds of soldiers and the remaining forces fled. The Russian army began to besiege the city of Svryzhek, to which the rest of the Ukrainian army reserves that fled from Solidar were transferred. The Russian army forces also attacked the town of Bredecheno, which is located on the eastern outskirts of the city of Konstantinovich near the highway that connects the strategic city of Bakhmut with the city of Konstantinovich, and this is a very dangerous direction with a narrow loop. And the suffocating Russian siege on Bakhmut. Russia is moving everywhere and in every axis of Bakhmut, so the roads that connect Bakhmut to neighboring cities are controlled. Russia is a group moving everywhere and in every axis of Bakhmut so that the roads that connect Bakhmut with the neighboring cities are controlled. Russian intelligence reports stated that Bakhmut has a large number of NATO forces and NATO advisors, which means that the city is considered a strategic treasure for Russia, not only because the city is considered the center of roads and supplies for Ukrainians. Russia is intensifying military pressure and attacking the eastern outskirts of the city of Bakhmut, and Russia's forces have attacked several towns near Bakhmut, such as Vydyanklishi in Krasnaya Gora, Marinkanilbiskyt, and Solobachano-Slovica. The Russian army is attacking many axes and many towns, and the Russian attack is along the entire front line. Ukraine's forces did not leave an opportunity to rest, which means terrible military pressure, as Russia launched massive missile attacks on the cities of Kramatorsk and Zvyborg. The Russian army has received a new batch of the latest Russian weapons and technology. They are smartphones that allow the Russian army to discover the locations of the Ukrainian artillery by analyzing the sound of gunfire and the sound of the guns, and determine the exact location from which the sound of the artillery came out. The Russian forces can strike on them in order to silence the artillery and missile fire.